morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us this Thursday for AMHQ Early. Meteorologist Jen Carfagno. You know, we go from record warmth to tornadoes to frosty temperatures and some spring snow. Mother Nature taking on the multiple personalities as we prepare to wrap up March. So let's get right to it. We've got millions in the Central Plains. Severe storms have been the main problem in Fort Worth, Texas. Fire officials blame storms for downed power lines that we're going to be watching for. The risk of strong storms maybe this morning, but especially into the afternoon. All right, so right now we're watching these storms out here. They haven't shown any signs of severe, but some heavy rain nonetheless coming in through parts of Mississippi and Louisiana. You know, you see these flash flood warnings still up. That's from the rain that has already fallen. It takes some time for floodwaters to recede, though. So that's, of course, going to be a lingering concern into the next couple of hours. Morgan City, though, heavy rain on your doorstep. It's not quite there for New Orleans, but tracking towards your area. And likely that will watch that bottom part of our whole system for the morning, and then this afternoon we're going to see a resurgence of storms moving up into Tennessee, even up into Kentucky, maybe even into Illinois, Indiana, the risk for severe weather for today. And that's where we have the highest risk of strong damaging winds here, pretty much from the Ohio Valley back down across middle Tennessee, maybe into Mississippi as well. This is where we've got our upper level low tracking. That's where we have a lot of the energy. That is the warm sector of our storm in between the cold front and the warm front. Torcons are up 4s and 3s. We've got a 4 in Memphis, 3 in Jackson, 3 in Birmingham for today. The timing for the worst of the weather is going to be into the afternoon, and the amount of daytime heating that goes into the system will certainly, I think, exacerbate the risk for severe weather. The more sun you get, the more instability you get. So watch how this all plays out. You got a couple of shower potential chances out there early in the day in the south. Now we're at 3, 4 o'clock, and that's when the line of thunderstorms starts going, stretching from Indiana right back down through Kentucky, right down into Tennessee. For Nashville, it actually comes in at about the rush, the evening rush, and then after. Memphis, for us, we'll have some thunderstorms out there this morning. We may escape some of the worst of the weather, but we are going to see those hit and miss thunderstorms. Temperatures stay mild into the afternoon. To watch that for you. Here's a look at that forecast for tomorrow as we see our cold front sweep east in that warm sector in between the cold front and the warm front. This is where we're going to watch for thunderstorms, and also interesting just to see where the air is coming from. There's going to be a component of the surface winds coming in from the Atlantic, and we'll get some air coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. So I think some heavy rain potential here across the Carolinas, into Virginia, into South Carolina. This is for tomorrow, plus everything kind of just crossing over this area. This is where severe weather could happen for you tomorrow. We're looking at Richmond, Norfolk, Raleigh, Wilmington, North Carolina. You guys are all in that red zone. Thunderstorms are possible from Charlotte back down into Charleston and Savannah. Even if they're not severe, lightning, of course, always a risk. A 3 out of 10 on the Torcon in southeastern Virginia and eastern North Carolina. That's a tornado index for your Friday. And Raleigh, the timing looks like this. Again, storms will be ongoing right through the overnight. They start later this afternoon. They keep on going all night long. And then tomorrow, they're getting into the Raleigh, North Carolina area, maybe in the morning, but much more likely into, say, the late morning hours that we'll see some of those thunderstorms move through. Potential severe weather then. Myrtle Beach for us, again, similar timing. You can see it's in between about 7 to 10 o'clock that we're going to see the most of the thunderstorms, with potential storms still lingering, though, into the afternoon. We'll start to break things up by that point. So watching for some very active weather both today, tonight, and then again tomorrow here in the south and east. Now let's go coast to coast and check out your Thursday morning weather headlines. Eastern Kansas, it's just been cold. It's been chilly. It's actually been colder in March than it was in January and February. And that actually would be a first, that March would be colder than both those months of January and February. And with that chill in the air, we've got to look at some snowfall coming your way Friday night and Saturday. Now you notice it's not terribly cold. It's not in the 20s. It's in the low to mid 30s. But you still can get accumulating snowfall with temperatures in the 30s. And especially interior spots will add up to several inches, of not even more than a foot when you get into the mountains. So here's our system, the same one that's going to bring the severe weather. The warm front sweeps in, but then kind of gets stuck right there into New England. So that's going to be a trigger for precipitation. And because temperatures are going to be cooler, we will see some snowfall, especially Vermont, New Hampshire, and then up into Maine. It actually will start today with a little bit of a mixed precip from Green Bay right over into northern lower Michigan, not in Detroit, but well north of there, up, say, around Flint. And then we take you into tomorrow's forecast. You can see that wintry mix in New England. It continues tomorrow night into early Saturday. Coming up this morning on AMHQ Early, a tornado gives a new mom going into this upcoming weekend in the Northeast. We also have the chance of snow in the Colorado Rockies, too. We'll get some snow starting today across portions of, Idaho, and then moving into Wyoming. We'll see that on Friday, getting into Colorado. Utah, too, we'll get some snow. Seattle, it is so nice to see the sun. We have been so cloudy. I think it was something like only 30% of the time have we seen the sun break out since we have been, since the beginning of October, actually. So it has been a tough stretch for us. Good to see some sun, although the rain back on Saturday. In the Northeast we go. There is your snow. It's really Friday night into Saturday, and it's really a New England thing that we are going to watch. High pressure then returns to the area. Temperatures soar back up to 60 New York City, but by Sunday, we are already watching next round of severe weather. Coming up, take a look at that forecast. Look at this large area in the red zone for today, all the way from the south, Gulf Coast, right up here into the Ohio Valley. We've got Indianapolis, as far north as you, Louisville, even Cincinnati. You guys are in the mix as well, and St. Louis remains under that mix for the potential of severe weather. So here's a look at what we're going to find. To start your day, this is the latest radar. We got thunderstorms out there moving through Louisiana right now. These are the ones that have been bringing some of the heaviest of rainfall. They've not been severe this morning. They've just really had a lot of rain as the big threat. And you'll notice that they're just not pushing east all that fast. So that, of course, exacerbates that risk of flooding when you have that much rain falling in one area and not moving out. So right now, we've taken what's happening now and put it into forecast mode. This is our forecast radar getting in through the morning. So the morning hours, we'll watch this line into the southeast. This eventually falls apart. You see a couple of showers maybe behind it. Until this afternoon, though, that's when the next big event starts going on. Now we get after lunchtime, and we get another line of thunderstorms coming in. This is the one that could be severe. We're watching Nashville about the time of rush in the dinner hour. You've got storms coming in. Jackson, round 2, is the one that actually could pack more of a punch. And then, of course, up into Indiana and in Kentucky, we've got that risk of storms turning severe. Indy a 4 on the Torcon, Paducah a 4, Nashville a 3 out of 10 on the Torcon for today. Now for Jackson, Mississippi, again, we've got those thunderstorms this morning. They're moving out right now, and then we'll see a break. But then the next round comes in this afternoon, and those are the ones that could be potentially strong to severe, damaging winds and hail, and an isolated tornado risk for today. Birmingham, Alabama, you are in the mix as well, but watch how we spend most of our day actually just fine. This is your timing. You've got the chance of thunderstorms, but most likely coming in overnight tonight. This is 6, 9 o'clock, even midnight. We could still be looking at that chance of storms coming into the area. All right, this all continues overnight, and we get you into tomorrow, and we're going to be watching for thunderstorms to continue to track through the southeast, including the Carolinas, and all the way up into Virginia, actually. I think heavy rain is also going to be a concern in this area, too, as we get some air coming from the Gulf of Mexico, air coming from the Atlantic. Now we're going to be looking at some more moisture potential up here, plus everything just coming together right over this area. Our surface low tracks over, our upper level low just off to the north and west. We do have that risk of severe weather with Richmond, Norfolk, Raleigh, Roanoke, and Wilmington all in the red zone for tomorrow. Damaging winds and hail going to be the main threat, and there's a very isolated tornado risk. It's a 3 out of 10 on our Torcon, southeast Virginia to eastern North Carolina. All right, so that's the area to watch. Again, this region from South Carolina to North Carolina, very warm today, just like you were yesterday, so that's part of the story, right? A lot of warm air feeding into this very spring-like system. And into tomorrow, we're going to watch for those thunderstorms to fire up across this area, or maybe even be ongoing, from the overnight, because that's part of the story, is that we'll have thunderstorms start later this afternoon here and then move east into tomorrow. Mess. Snow, sleet, freezing rain, all going to be a possibility. Here's a look at that forecast for you getting into tomorrow. Let's focus on the northern side of this. The Northeast, especially into tomorrow evening, we've got that wintry mess of weather coming on in here. So our system expands into the Northeast, and as it does, the warm front moves into this area. It just doesn't bring up the warm air into New England. So we see that wintry weather across northern New York, Saranac Lake, you guys are in it. Burlington, a wintry mix possible. Concord, Nashua, you've got the chance for snow. Portland, more snow, and up into Bangor as well. Now, some of the bigger totals, of course, will be up into elevations. That's where you could get more than a foot. But there's a pretty large area that you could get 6 to 12 inches of snowfall anywhere in that lighter purple color. Albany, not too far away from you, you will see that chance of some big snow. Hudson Valley, maybe we'll hang on to a little more of a rain-snow mix, so you won't allow it to add up too much. But you look at those big mountain totals, up to 2 feet of snow possible. Once our low moves off the coast, it'll really throw back in some moisture. Boston, we even have the chance for snow. Temperatures are going to be topping out only in the upper 30s on Friday. Friday night, we drop down close to the freezing mark, and then on Saturday, not warming up out of the 30s. So, there is a chance for snow snow. Much better chances to go a little further to the west. Coming up, we could have flight delays in the Midwest. We're going to check travel conditions ahead on. Gotta love March and April. So Saturday is actually April the 1st, and literally anything goes this time of year when it comes to the weather maps. And you can see it, all colors on the map, all different types of weather. Severe weather today, tonight, tomorrow into the mid-Atlantic. Rain to the north of that. Snow chances start tomorrow night across New England. We see it continue into early Saturday across New Hampshire, Vermont, up into Maine. You guys got some snow, even Massachusetts, some snow as well. But then by Saturday, that next system, the one I just talked about with Denver, not only is that causing snow in Denver, but it's also going to bring severe weather risk back into the southern plains, and we will do it all over again next week. Well, coming up today, we've got torcons of 4 for parts of the Ohio and Tennessee valleys. Keep it here.